Can I just stand there? Yes, I can. Oh Lord. Chieftain is fun. Hello, hello. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. So one day has passed of the 3.26 expansion, and boy was it experience. Apart from absolutely infinite amount of crashes, DCs, rollbacks, and stuff like that, we definitely tried our best to make Brutus of Divine Judgment work. And oh boy, this character probably the tankiest. I don't know about the most smooth, but definitely the tankiest league starter I've started with in a long time. Absolutely insanely tanky, and it's only going to get stronger. I'm very satisfied so far with the character. Very satisfied. I managed to get to, and with my very slow speed, because I'm not necessarily, I'm a long time PoE1 player, but I haven't played that much recently. And with my turtle speed, I managed to kill Searing Exarch in 15 hours since the start. And that's including probably losing hour or hour and a half, literally just because of DCs and rollbacks. So in this video, I'm going to go over, the league start, how it went, and many different things that adjustments perhaps, or things that could help you guys, and other stuff I'm going to talk about in this video. I guess there's some people like that wanted me to, I believe yesterday on stream, they wanted me to touch the topic and like do like a follow-up video. So I'm definitely going to update you guys on this character, because from what I've seen, people that played it so far are very satisfied. And I think, technically speaking, the character has basically no weaknesses apart from one small dead zone, where if you don't have any currency whatsoever, and I'm not going to believe that nobody will have one chaos for Crown of Ice, but there is the one very short dead zone where your damage might be lacking, and we're going to talk about it as well. We started. Honestly, I'm not going to talk about campaign really for too long, just a little bit, because I would pretty much do the video again from the practice run, so I don't think that makes a lot of sense. What I'm going to say though is, we're going to shortly, very shortly talk about the stuff that, excuse me, the stuff that I've improved. So first of all, in Act 1, obviously I got Frostblink. That sped things up. Okay, maybe let's start from the beginning. So the campaign this time took about, I'm going to scroll this a little bit. The campaign took this time about 6.5 hours compared to the practice run, which was 6 hours. But hear me out. We had, I don't know, I'm going to say 15 disconnects, and on top of that, 3 or 4 rollbacks when I had to do the zone again that I did before. That alone probably was, I don't know if an hour, but probably close to an hour of time wasted. That was a lot of time wasted. So the fact that the run took about, the campaign run took about 6.5 hours, maybe 6 hours 40 minutes, something like that. That alone would basically make the campaign run this time shorter than the practice run, which is great because that means that we learned something. But also, what I think I did a mistake, apart from, as always, killing too many monsters, I just can't stop myself. What I did is I interacted with the league mechanic, with the mercenaries, too much. So I wasted quite a lot of time there, but at the same time, we actually got a decent amount of currency from the mercenaries in the campaign. I don't know, maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe 8 chaos from mercenary. So I probably wasted about 30 minutes on doing mercenaries all the time, but we got 8 chaos or something like that, or 7 chaos throughout, in that 30-minute time. And that helped us gear up very quickly. Basically, right out of the campaign, I purchased Crown of Ice basically immediately, and that allowed me to have smooth sailing in white and yellow maps, like right off the bat. So in Act 1, what I changed compared to the practice run was getting Frostblink and eliminating some small mistakes there and there. So I'm just going to like go over them over these acts really quickly because I don't want to make this video like really long. This is just going to be an update. This is not going to be like a like a full build guide that I had, for example, in PoE 2 that I had some build guides that lasted for 1 hour 20 minutes. So it was just basically a little bit optimized for how bad of a runner I am and for how little practice I had, generally speaking, during these runs. I would say that if it wasn't for disconnects, 5.5 hours for me is really decent. It really is. I'm going to talk about some important stuff though. So first of all, I didn't get the Brutus until I believe Act 6, something like this. I had currency for it earlier because, as I predicted, the Brutus was very cheap. So you could pretty much get it. I had viewers that got Brutus basically immediately in Act 3 because they had 1 chaos and they immediately bought Brutus, right? Because like they haggled a little bit. The guy would, for example, list Brutus for 3 chaos or 2 chaos, and they managed to get it for 1 chaos or something like that, right? The chaos that they found. So very very easy to get, very cheap to get the core items of the build, unbelievably cheap. And I got Brutus in Act 6, and I'm going to talk about the very important thing that perhaps is going to help some of you guys, because some people don't realize how unbelievably strong this cluster is. So basically, I'm going to talk about this right now, actually. So basically, what happens is that until you get Brutus, when you're using a two-handed weapon and going pure fizz with Sunder, you're basically doing these nodes over here, right? In the beginning, at the start. It's like you're getting these nodes over here, you're getting these nodes over here, you're going to get this cluster over here, you're going to get this cluster over here, and to get some physical damage, right? And once you respect to Brutus, once you get enough for Brutus and you equip Brutus, you want to respec out of these, which is going to be extremely simple. I did it myself, and in Act 6, when I was doing a respec, I could do like 40 respecs with the amount of gold I had. And I'm talking about the respec on this guy that respecs for gold, right? Not the passive points or anything like this. So the gold respec very easy, and you're basically respecing out of these nodes over here, out of these nodes, out of these nodes, out of these nodes. And you might be asking what to do with these nodes. Basically, what you want to allocate is fire damage with attack skills or elemental damage. So you want to get these over here. You want to get these at this point, like maybe a little bit later on, right? But what is extremely important, and the reason why it's pretty, in my opinion, really good to respec to Brutus and Smite. If you want to, you can still keep on using Sunder if you want to. Yeah, because it's not going to matter. Vast majority of your damage is going to be fire, no matter what skill you're going to be using, because you'll be getting your damage from Brutus, right? So what is unbelievably important is that in Act 7, your second ascendancy should be this. You can take it even as a first ascendancy if you get Brutus in Act 3. There's no problem with that. And what it does is it transforms the whatever type of damage nodes will be doing in radius to fire damage. And taking this cluster is extremely good. Extremely good during campaign, and even outside of the campaign when you don't have your equipment yet. This is so good because this jewel over here is going to transform all of these nodes, right? This jewel over here is going to transform 4 of these nodes, and they stack. And what I mean by that is that these nodes over here that will be affected by both jewels, like for example this one and these, right? And this one, they're going to have 6 strength, not 3, because all the jewels in the radius will also, all the passives in the radius will also get +3 to strength. So these will have 6 strength, right, instead of 3. And on top of that, the conversion from damage is going to happen twice. So this little node, this small node, is going to turn into +6 strength and 28% increased fire damage with Mace's Receptors. 28 damage. It's basically like it's going to be like notable, and with +6 strength is arguably even stronger than the notable. This is going to turn into 32 fire damage. This is going to turn into 32 fire damage. This is going to turn into 28 fire damage. And the remaining ones will be like, 14 fire damage, 30 fire damage, and 36 fire damage, because they're not going to be affected by this jewel. So only these are gonna get crazy. But this jewel is absolutely insane, and this is how you carry your damage in the campaign. This is basically how you carry your damage. And to people that are going to tell me that, oh, I can't get jewels, you're always going to, you can even get 1 jewel or even 2 as a quest rewards, right? You're going to get 1 jewel as a quest reward in Act 3. You're definitely going to find a random jewel. It doesn't matter what jewel that's going to be. I found completely random jewels, and I put it in sockets because I wanted to get these huge bonuses, right? And bonuses to strength too. This is a massive amount of strength from a jewel like that. It's absolutely insane amount of strength, right? Like this jewel alone, even though it doesn't give me any strength right now on my current build, is going to give me 90 strength. So like you can see how good this node is for this build, and generally speaking, how insane Chieftain is. We're gonna talk about the tankiness later. But keep in mind that this is how you're going to carry your damage, and it's very important to just do it properly. Because if someone is going to struggle with damage, this is how to avoid struggling with damage. You just need to respec, and at the same time get this cluster over here, and your damage is going to be totally fine. I think my damage during the campaign was totally fine. It wasn't anything bad, so yeah. With Thunder it was okay too, but with Smite and this cluster it definitely went up. So it was good, right? What I'm trying to say, that it was good. And yeah, we were going through the campaign. I think I talked about really the most important thing that I wanted to. So like after that I swapped, of course, to the Smite, and since then the clear looked like this. Maybe hopefully I'm going to find like a good moment, because like in the meantime I was searching for some items. Here was the lab. By the way, I did the Uber lab very early on this character because of how tanky it was. We did lab over here. That was, I believe, the second lab, because then we got the jewel ascendancy node. And yeah, mistake of me killing every rare monster. I would save another 30 minutes. Generally speaking, if you had like a way better player, you could go far way below 5 hours with this build. So the arguments that some people had that it's a strength stacker, it's going to be a backlead starter, are absolutely, I don't want to say something bad, but as you can see, like for example, like a mini boss like this dies in like 10 seconds or something like that. So the damage was totally fine in the beginning, and as I mentioned before, outside of we're gonna get to that, but outside of the campaign, there's going to be one dead zone. If you don't have Crown of Ice, the build is not going to feel that great, because Crown of Ice fixes too many problems. Crown of Ice gives you life leech, mana leech, and a huge amount of damage at the same time. So Crown of Ice is very important for this build. But even if you're gonna farm 10, 15 maps without Crown of Ice, then you're gonna farm for Crown of Ice, you're gonna get it, and then you're golden, right? At this point. So I'm going to scroll over this because that was campaign more or less. And then we got to maps. As I mentioned before, in the beginning we did not have Crown of Ice, so the damage was unimpressive to say the least. That being said, the damage was still good enough to clear maps. I almost got killed there. I don't know why. But this is a good moment to talk about tankiness. Tankiness on this build is insane. It's absolutely insane. The only thing I was dying to, pretty much, and this was a bad example, by the way, but because this was before I got my defensive layers. But the only thing I was pretty much dying to, after I started like climbing through yellow and red maps, was the mercenaries. Mercenaries are absolutely overtuned, some of them at least, because I've noticed that some of them absolutely do not do damage. Some of them were just one-shotting me through 90 resistances and 5 endurance charges and 45, and they're just one-shotting me. So some of the mercenaries, I think it has to do with the penetration, because some of them will penetrate your resistances and physical damage reduction from time to time, which is complete nonsense, and probably it's going to get fought. They're probably going to get fought fixed one way or the other. But other than that, as you probably saw from the clip at the start of the video, it's insane that I can just be standing still in AFK basically against Searing Exarch 15 hours into the start of the league, right? And like I don't have to tell you guys how much we're going to improve First of all, the POB I'm going to link is already going to be a much better version because I was doing the stream, and during the stream I was getting very little upgrades because I just wanted to push maps. And outside of the stream, I still played for like an hour and a half, something like this. And this is when I started getting upgrades. Actually searching for items and like waiting for someone and stuff like that. And I tripled my damage basically. I tripled my damage because I got so many improvements. I got gloves. There's absolutely infinite amount of improvements still to be made. But just mentioning right now that the POB I'm going to link you in the description is going to be a POB that is basically that basically does 3 times the damage compared to what you saw there during the showcase, right? There's like a low tier maps. This is one of the mercenaries. These mercenaries were completely insane, at least some of them. But what makes this character like really fun to play, in my opinion, is the fact that right outside of the campaign, yeah, pretty much when you enter maps, you can get some extremely cheap items, right? So you get Brutus, you get a Crown of Ice, you get Alborn's Warpath to boost your strength. You get stuff like, for example, you can get Rise of the Phoenix very cheap. In this clip, I think this is exactly when I found Rise of the Phoenix because I didn't buy it, I found it. It's still 1 chaos though, and I actually found a really good roll, so that's why it was 5 chaos. But the random one you can buy for 1 chaos easily at the start of the league. And all of these things combined actually will carry your damage through early maps, even without any other improvements. As long as you care at least a little bit about strength on your gear, on the gear that you're going to find, and it'll literally pick up from the ground, then you're going to be fine. Excuse me. But what is really cool is that with this Ascendancy, there is so much defense that you get for free, basically. There is so much defense. Getting 90 to all resistances is very easy. It's even easier if you're going to be using Ruby Flask, which I do recommend because Ruby Flasks have very high uptime, so you're going to have them up pretty much permanently. And 90 all resistances, I did Uberlap, I believe at level 70, like 4 or something like this. Because like I wasn't afraid that I'm going to die or anything like this because the boss was just wasn't just doing damage to me. So like I did Uberlap, then I got after the Uberlap I got the Warcry node for infinite Warcries. Since then I spec'd into Enduring Cry, and all of a sudden I had like 1200 regeneration with endurance charges, with 45, with 90 all res. And during maps, I didn't really feel like I was taking any damage. The only exception was like the mercenaries, right? The only exception was the mercenaries. But other than that, I literally wasn't like taking damage. This character is just too tanky. This character basically is as the tankiness of Righteous Fire character. Arguably, it's even stronger because Righteous Fire, I don't think is going to have easy time having the Fortify uptime. And this character has Fortify on top of that. And this character doesn't have to worry about the degen from Righteous Fire either. So if you're going to have a map with like minus max resistance or something like that, you can run this. On Righteous Fire, you're probably going to be struggling a little bit. So that being said, this is one modifier probably that I would try to avoid is basically dealing with less recovery mods and no regeneration mods. These are actually the mods that I would try to avoid on this build because our insane regeneration is not going to work, and the fact that we have life leech also, so doing these maps might be pain in the ass, but they're still doable. It's just it's just this is a huge benefit for us to have regeneration, so losing that is obviously going to suck. But yeah, outside of the campaign, as soon as you're going to get your mandatory items, the character feels extremely tanky, and even if your gear like is going to suck really hard with this super cheap unique items, your tankiness is going to carry you. This is how I managed to like basically immediately jump from white maps to I was farming red maps, and they were taking longer because without any upgrades I had like really super low DPS. I had like 300,000-400,000 DPS or something like that. Even the Searing Exarch Fight I can show you, by the way. Even the Searing Exarch Fight, the Searing Exarch I think I have over here. So that was the Searing Exarch Fight. Here is the start. Even this fight, as you're gonna see, took 6 minutes. That being said, I don't know if this was a bug, but like he did this fireball phase like almost 3 times in a row without cooldown, so that was kind of weird. So maybe it would take a little bit, faster. But this is how I was doing it. Basically, this is 15 hours into the start of the league, or 14 hours, something like that. And in the fact that we lost like hour or something like that, this if I was faster, I could get to this boss in like 11 hours, something like this. If I was a better player, right? if I was Ben, I would get with this build to this guy in like 10 hours, most likely. So yeah, the fact that I can do this without any upgrades, and the tankiness is carrying me already without the shittiest gear imaginable, right? Is just like a good showcase of how powerful the defense of this build is, and the offense can scale very, very quickly. As I mentioned before, off stream I did some upgrades and I already almost triple my damage. So this guy would be dead at this point. With my current setup, this character, this boss would be already dead. And these are cheap upgrades, right? I didn't do anything crazy. It's just like basic stuff. It's just this is how hard the strength stackers scale. That's how it is. And this is how easy it is to get. This is no crit, by the way. We're gonna talk about this in a second, because I'm all over the place right now. But the scaling crit and scaling strength on a strength stacker like that, if it feels good early on without any gear, that means that it's going to feel freaking fantastic later on. Right, but I'm not going to show you the entire fight because I can pretty much be standing still, so it's okay. Let's just jump in over here and talk about POB. So compared to the showcase from the maps, the upgrades I did. So first of all, I bought Rapid's Globe. I got rid of the Rise of the Phoenix. And this is going to be huge damage multiplier, of course. This alone gave me like 50% damage. You're supposed to do that, A, when you have enough currency for it, B, when you started getting some jewels with maximum fire resistance. Many of these jewels are complete crap, but I was buying them for like 1-2 chaos just to get maximum fire resistance and like attack speed, because I think that this is the second most important stat that you should get. So just get fire resistance, maximum fire resistance. When you have currency for rat pits, change to rat pits, and enjoy your massive damage multiplier, which is going to be like how much damage am I getting from that? About 47%, 46% right now. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Next huge upgrade. Vol gauntlets, rare gauntlets with strength, attack speed, and non-vol strike skills target one additional nearby enemy. I was really unlucky with this. I spent about 150. I'm dead serious. I spent about 150. That cost me like I think 200 chaos to get this +1, and I finally got it. And that was a huge relief because I was almost out of currency. It's like day one we're not going to be getting a lot of currency because what we focus on basically is progressing through the Atlas. But I got it, and this allowed me to just drop Ancestral Call and get fire penetration. So now I'm going to be leveling this up, and the damage is going to get way better. So that's upgrade number 2. After that, I had some small upgrades. Chest is complete crap. I bought better Alberand Warpath, but even at this very start, 3 hours into the league, you can buy that for 1 chaos. These boots, they're just absurdly cheap. Here, obviously, in the future, we definitely want Zov's Blood and the rings. Both of these rings, funnily enough, both of these rings I found. This one is really good because it gives a lot of chaos resistance. This is pretty crap, but I'm going to obviously be getting upgrades soon. This I bought for 1 divine, with the strength implicit. Someone mentioned that these belts 1 week into the league are 5 divines. I guess they were wrong again. Something I need to mention, something actually I need to show, because there are people that literally in different places, not necessarily in comments on YouTube videos, but some people were saying that the Iron Fortress will cost dozens of divines, not dozens of divines in the first 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. I don't want to be an asshole, but you know what? Iron Fortress. This is the beginning of day 2. We're in the beginning of day 2, and look at this. Online, look at this. Dozens of divines, guys. Sure, Surely a lot of people are playing strength stackers at the start of the league. That's why this chest is expensive, right? No, wait, hold on. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to be making upgrades today. Like after uploading this video, I'm just jumping right into streaming again because we need to push, we need to progress, right? So I really want to start farming tier 17 maps day 3. No, maybe not farming, but I really want to like finish tier 17 maps day 3. That would be a good showcase of how powerful this character is gonna be. That being said, yeah, that's it when it comes to upgrades. I got an insane upgrade because I bought this weapon for 5 chaos, double corrupted Brutus. That's right, 5 chaos. So, I mean, this weapon is gonna stay with me pretty much until the end of this character. So that's something to mention. But yeah, when it comes to the tips I could give you after the campaign, try to get once again the mandatory uniques. This is going to be huge. Crown of Ice is going to be huge for you. Getting leech, mana leech, and this massive damage multiplier is going to be absolutely huge. Keep in mind to allocate Iron Will though. Just keep in mind this is going to be important because without Iron Will you're not going to get that damage boost. So this is very important. And keep in mind too, it's very simple to get your sockets, color your sockets, your gear properly, and get these sockets because Arctic armor is going to be a huge quality of life thing because you're going to be immune to freeze and you're going to get very nice physical damage mitigation, even more fire. So that's nice. Then try to do lab as quickly as possible. Is very simple, and after lab you get this. That means that all of a sudden you can start using Enduring Cry, and with Enduring Cry you have permanent endurance charges, and on top of that you have absolutely huge regeneration. And obviously this regeneration is gonna scale. Late game you can get to about 3,000 regen per second, which at this point you don't even need life flask, right? 3k per second is absurd. On a character with 7 endurance charges, with 90 all res, with Arctic armor, with block, this regeneration is going to, even tier 17 maps, unless you're going to run some insane modifiers, even tier 17 maps are not going to feel scary with these defenses. So yeah, last thing I wanted to talk about real fast, in case someone wanted to copy what I am going to be doing. Basically, at the start of the league, what I'm planning is what I did is something like this. Basically, this is a setup to get your your atlas done as quickly as possible and get as many maps as possible. Basically, you're pathing through here and basically getting all the Kirak mission stuff. Kirak mission is very good because this allows you to get yourself the maps that you haven't done yet very easily. And then you're just basically getting Kirak and you're getting maps over here. Then you're getting this Kirak cluster. You're getting more maps over here. And then on the way, I very much recommend to do the shrines. So shrines over here, and shrines over here. That will pretty much guarantee every map you're going to have 1 or 2 shrines, and shrines will have basically additional effect on top of that. So by clicking 1 shrine you're going to have 2, and this will help you clear the maps much faster in the early stages when your gear is still going to be very bad. So day 1, day 2 of the league, depending on how good your pace is. Then I just went around and got this quantity of your maps because I'm not really speccing into any league right now, any league mechanic. So I specced into this quantity and quantity with rarity over here. And what my plan is next is I want to finish the entire atlas, and then I'm going to start farming Eldritch altars, right? I'm gonna start farming Ether of Worlds. Trying to get some money from the Ichors that they're gonna drop, and after that I'll be doing destructive play and farming tier 17 guardian maps together with the altars at the same time. And I think this character is perfectly designed to do that because these sometimes can get pretty scary, right? Especially if you click too many altars. But I think that this character should be able to deal with them absolutely fine because of how tanky we are. And this way, this is my plan to farm in the beginning. This time I'm not going to be doing breach at the start of the league because I've been doing breach for so long. You could call me like a breach addict, and I think this time it's maybe time to do something a little bit different. So this is what I'll be doing. Excuse me. If this is going to be any useful for you, feel free to use it for this strategy. I don't even know if it's going to be really good. I'm going to keep you updated. But if you have something else in mind, I know that many people, for example, at the start of the league do expedition or something like heist and something like not beyond. The freshly changed this cat arena mechanic that they changed, betrayal. Many people do betrayal. I don't know which one is going to be super good, but yeah, it's up to you. There's so many options to farm in PoE 1. It's absolutely mind blowing. So this is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I'm going to link this POB in the description if someone wants to take a look. Keep in mind, boys, that once again during the showcase, I basically had 3 times lower damage compared to this. On this character, after I bought all the upgrades, I ran a tier 16 map and it looked way better. And these are still super cheap upgrades, right? So like, I'm going to keep on scaling this character and I'm going to keep giving you guys more updates. That's going to be it for now. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.